today's makeup look is that really beautiful rose gold look. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please make sure you do and hit that ring bell so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video. I really hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. For primer, I'll be taking the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. So I will apply this primer on with my fingers because it has a little bit of a thick texture, but then that will melt immediately into the skin and will help the foundation glide on really well. It contains shea butter, which makes it quite moisturizing, and I would say this primer would work well for normal to combination skin. It also has a very nice citrusy smell, which is very refreshing and very nice. For today's foundation, I'll be going with more of a full coverage look, and I will be taking the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation and using a Sigma F80 brush. I'll be applying this foundation in sections just because it dries really quickly. So a buffing brush will help to really melt this foundation and blend it really quickly onto the skin. Now, although this foundation is a little bit thick, I find that it works really well if you have a well moisturized skin beneath and you only apply 1 to 1.5 pumps all together onto the skin. And by doing it in sections and really buffing it into the skin, then I find that it looks very natural and gives a really nice flawless finish that is super long lasting on the skin. This brush works like magic. I find that it's the best when you want to apply foundation. It buffs it off really quickly and it just makes all the work for you really. Now, before I conceal the under eye area, I would like to use a corrector, and I will be using today the Sisley corrector in the shade number 2. And this has a little bit of a peachy undertone, so it will really help correct the under eye darkness, so then we can avoid using a lot of concealer. Now, using my fingers, I'll start to melt this corrector underneath the eyes and making sure that most of the product is in the inner corner of my eyes. And as I'm blending, I'm taking it downwards and outwards. And you can see instantly that this peachy tone will help to remove the dark coloring, and that way we will apply a lot less concealer. For concealer, I'll be taking my very favorite one from Dior, and it's the Forever Skin Correct Concealer. This is in the shade 1.5. Just dabbing motions, it will blend it perfectly. And this brush is very small and it fits the under eyes just really well. And whatever is left, I'll be applying it on the top part of my eye, and this will act as an eyeshadow primer. For contour, I'll be using the Nars Laguna bronzer and with the Sigma F23 brush. So applying it with an angle, very slow and a lot higher than where you think you want to put it. So the higher the better, because you're gonna lift your skin up. So I like to do these tapping motions, and then I like to just lift the brush very slowly and blend that contour in, and then blend and blend it out upwards. So I'll take a little bit more and apply onto my forehead. And again, by using tapping motions and blending it out at the same time. A tiny bit onto the jawline and always blending it down. And whatever is really left, I'll be applying it on the side of the nose. So in case you use a lot of that contour, you can go back to your foundation brush and really dab it on, and that way it will just help soften the contour. For today's brows, I'll be using the MAC Lingering Pencil, and this is one of my very used products. And I will just focus this brow pencil on the outer part of my brows, just to fill in any gaps that I have. And I would also just elongate my brows a tiny bit. And then using my spoolie, I'll be brushing my hair up. For the eyes, I'll start with this loose eyeshadow pigment from MAC, and this is in the shade Tan. And using a flat brush, I'll be taking some of that pigment, removing excess, and then using my Estee Lauder Set and Refresh water spray, I'll be taking a few spritz of that and apply it on the center part of my lid up until the crease. The reason why I've wet the brush is because it will transform this loose pigment into almost a cream eyeshadow, and it will make it look a lot more metallic. And you can see this is a really beautiful rose gold shade, and it will be flattering on many skin tones. Next, I'll use a really beautiful champagne shade, and the one I'm using today is from Bobbi Brown and it's called Champagne Quartz. Using another flat brush, now I'm using the MAC 239 brush, which is very versatile, and I'll be applying that underneath the brow bone and also taking it onto the inner part of the eye and on the beginning of the lid. And that way it will just make the eyes look bigger, and it will give a really nice, beautiful, gradual effect when the eye makeup is finished. Next, I'll be taking the Huda Beauty Nude palette. I'll be using the shade Tickle. Using a fluffy brush, this is the MAC 221. I'll be taking it from the outer part of the lid, and using circular motions, I'll be blending it towards the crease. So you can look straight ahead so you can see exactly where you're taking it. You want to take it until halfway through the lid, and towards the outer corners you're taking it outwards so it can really open up the eyes. So taking a little bit more eyeshadow and repeating the same steps, so it's always easier to build up the product rather than putting a lot to start with. I would also suggest you don't do facial expressions like super high brows, because that way when you're blending it's not really where the brow naturally is, so you might blend it a lot higher than what you need to. Next, I'll be going with the shade Raw. Using a dense pencil brush, I'll be applying it onto the outer corner of the lid by pressing it in and connecting it up to the crease, but without taking the color too high. So it's mainly going to be on the outer part of the lid. So of course you can keep the eyeshadow like that, but I would like to add a little bit of a special color that will make it look even more amazing. And this is the Hourglass Scattered Light glitter eyeshadow in the shade Blaze. I'll be taking some on with my fingers and placing it onto the center of the lid, exactly on top of the MAC loose pigment eyeshadow. And this eyeshadow is glittery but very finely milled, so it will just add that sparkle in a very beautiful way. And now mixing the shade Tickle and Raw using a small detailed brush, the Wayne Goss number 07, and I will apply it to the lower lash line, connecting it with the top one and taking it up until the middle. Next, using one of my favorite eye pencils, and this is the L'Oreal Infallible in the shade Copper, and I'll take this on the bottom lashes and apply it onto the outer part, again exactly where we applied the two eyeshadows. And taking back my brush, I'll be softening that into the eyeshadows. To line my eyes, I'll be using this pencil from Revlon, and it's a really pretty burgundy reddish color. I'll be applying it and very quickly blending it out with a brush. And for this, I'll take this very interesting eye brush, and it's from Real Techniques, and it's called Rebel Edge Fine. It's the most perfect brush to blend out your eyeliner very easily. So I'll start to apply a tiny bit of liner on the outer part of my eyes, and making sure that I lift it a little bit higher. And then very quickly I'll take my brush and I'll start to blend it out. This pencil will dry extremely fast and you need to work with it really quickly. Also, I'm going to be taking it in stages, so I will do 2 or 3 layers until I'm happy with the result. When you blend it out, make sure that you open your eyes so you can see exactly where you're taking it. Now, because of the shape of this brush, it will just help you achieve that winged eyeliner look very easily and with very little effort. And you can of course make it a little bit sharper by applying some concealer, and that way you're gonna get a really clean and sharp line. Now for mascara, I'll be using my favorite mascara, which is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I love this mascara because it helps me create a lot of length to my lashes and volume, but at the same time I can really separate the lashes. I like to start from the root of the lashes and taking it upwards. Next, I'll take some eyelashes, and for today I'll be using these ones from Eylure. For the glue, I used to use this one from Duo Glue, but lately I've discovered the best option for strip lashes, and it's the same brand, but it's the Duo Quick Set, and this is just so much easier because it comes like that and you can just quickly apply on the strip lashes and it dries so much faster. So I'll be taking the lash onto my tweezers and applying a layer of this, making sure you're applying an even layer everywhere and especially on the corner of the lashes. And then I'll wait about 10 to 20 seconds before I apply it. So now that it's completely dry, I'll look down, place it on the center of my lashes, and then take each side and just stick it on. Now once the lashes dry, I'll go with some mascara and gently press both the fake and the natural lashes just so they can blend in and look a little bit more natural. And I'm doing that only on the root of the lashes. For blush, I'll be using the Max Factor powder blush in the shade Lovely Pink. And it's a really beautiful iridescent pinky shade. And my Suku cheek brush, I'll be applying this onto the center of the cheeks and blending it out. To cover my spots that I have on the top of my lips, I'll be using the MAC Pro Conceal and Correct brush, the 228S from MAC, and dabbing some of the concealer and then blending it out with my fingers. So for powder, I'll be mixing these 2 colors from MAC, and this one is Emphasize and it's a pale white one, and this one Accentuate, which is more of a skin tone color. Using my Real Techniques setting brush, I'll be mixing both shades, taking a little bit more of the pale white one, and I'll set my T-zone. And before I set the under eyes, I'll make sure there is no creasing from the concealer. So I'm taking back my concealer brush, and then very quickly I'll be setting the under eye with the powder and just applying it mainly onto the inner corner of the eyes. Just to make the contouring a little bit sharper, I'll use the same mixture of both powders underneath the contour that we did earlier. And that way it will just make it look a little bit sharper. And now for my lip pencil, I'll be taking the NYX Nude Pink lip pencil, and it's the perfect kind of beigey brownie pink. So I'll start by lining my lip, and I'll make sure I line the inside of my lips. And for my lipstick, I'll be taking the Charlotte Tilbury limited edition lipstick in the shade Valentine. Very beautiful nudie pinky shade that would complement this lip liner really well. And as you can see, it just is a very beautiful pinky nudie shade that would look amazing with these kind of tones of makeup, or even in general if you don't like something that is too pale or too pinky. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked today's tutorial, and I really love how it turned out to be. So when you recreate the makeup, make sure you tag me on Instagram at NatalieK_MUA. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do and ring that notification bell so you receive a notification every time I upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.